Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. And with me today, I have a very special guest. He goes by the name of Charles Charlie Lodge. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Conn Man. How you doing?
I'm doing rather well. Folks, for those of you who may not know, I had the distinct pleasure of doing the UMass Dartmouth basketball camp. I think this was his year number 37. Coach Brian Baptiste is, I think he's accumulated over 700 victories, and it was a great time doing this camp. But when I came in the gym, I saw this large man. I said, I think I remember him. And you know what? I said, I do have a case of dementia, but I think I remember him. And I went up and I approached him, and then we kicked it. And then I said, I got to have him on my show because I think he'd be very entertaining. He's very knowledgeable, and I'm honored and very happy that you are here on my show today. So, Charles, for folks who do not know about you, can you give the viewers a little background information about how it all originated and how it all began?
Yeah, I'm gonna go way back on how it began. I'm gonna give a shout out to he's the coach of George Washington now, Ed Cooley. I didn't tell you this part. He was my how we got
Whoa!
together at the camp. That was how that's how I got into basketball. This is a nostalgia thing that I do where I go with my kids to that camp, right? Because that was my childhood. I went to camp at Stonehill College basketball camp, man. And that he was my counselor. He was the best coach counselor ever. he he's the one that got me obsessed with basketball, right? He told us he was like, you got to name. I'm 9 years old, right? It's the same age my daughter is now. Hey, you got to name your ball. You got to sleep with your ball. You got to take your ball everywhere. And he was a great speaker, and he got us to learn rebounding, talking on defense, all kinds of great stuff. So, I mean, that's where it really started for me was going to those camps. So that's why I just love working those camps now. It's labor of love for sure. And then I ended up playing basketball in high school finally after I got cut. Actually, I told you I got cut at UMass, the first year because they were so good. What I didn't tell you is I got cut. I've been cut 7 times, Mike. 7 times.
You been what?
I got cut, yeah. So I was on like the travel team, right? You know how they got like the A team and the B team. So seventh grade, that was the first year.
Right,
I always
right,
did
right.
rec. I did the rec basketball. I loved the rec basketball. And then I played. I was getting better, seventh grade. So I went out for the team because I was on the travel team, and I ended up getting cut. It was the same coach I had in third grade for the very first time I was on an organized basketball team. And it was funny too, because he was like, oh, he was a good guy. He was like a gym teacher. And he told, we all colluded afterwards because he would tell us a number. And he's like that, because there was like 30 kids trying out for like whatever many spots on a basketball team. And he must have told every kid that they were
Damn.
number 16. He kept 15 guys. He told everybody they were number 16. So I was number 16, but I was probably number 30 or something, right? But no, I kept going. I tried out in eighth grade. Uh, and this guy that was the coach in eighth grade was a great guy. His sons were like, 1,000-point scorers at my high school that I eventually played for. But he cut me as well. But he told me something that stuck with me. And he was like, I've seen this before where someone doesn't make the team one year. And, then the next thing you know, they make the team. They make the high school team. Michael Jordan got cut, right? So I went out
Exactly.
again.
True
I
that.
went out again freshman year, and I got cut from the freshman team. And the coach, was like, maybe someday. He was kind of funny, and he was like, if you grow into those big canoes of yours, maybe you can be on the team. So because I have big feet, so I was like, I had my feet grew before me, right? So I have size 15 feet. But back then I'm
Wow.
probably 13 already for the feet, but the height hadn't caught up yet. So I hit my big growth spurts like 10th, 11th grade, and at the same time that I was getting better, And long story short, on that, I ended up, finally getting on the team my senior year of high school. Um, so, but he told me I
But
was never going to play.
before we go into that, I'm very happy that you're on the show because, I've had NBA ball players, great collegiate ball players, who probably had, the talent right from the get go, probably never been cut, and probably been spoiled all their lives. And to have you on the show is very important because it talks about your dedication and your desire to improve and to get what you want. So, with that being said, you can continue, my man.
Well, that's the thing about it. I think a failure is what leads to success. I just think like if this was handed to me and I just was on the team every year, that I mean maybe I would have lost interest or something. But it was what was happening was every time I got cut, it just made me want it more. And I would go to 6 basketball camps, 8 basketball camps, and I wanted so badly to make the team. Like being cut the third time just made me want it even more just to prove them wrong that I could be on the team. And so I'd be practicing in my driveway, shooting shots and stuff. And believe it or not, you try out for JV when you're in 10th grade, right? And I had just gotten cut 3 times. So I don't know. The coach was actually my neighbor, right? So he lived on the same street as me. And he'd be like driving by and like practicing up a storm. And I ended up getting cut that year too, right? So then I get caught my JV. The second time I got caught in JV, it was the day before the first
Uh huh.
game. It was the day before the first game. The kids all got their uniforms that was still on the team, and then it was like, see you later. So what happened was, because you know how like the upperclassmen can play JV, like if you're in 11th grade, you can be moved down to JV. So the JV coach, I thought I was already on the team because I had tried out every year. It's usually like a week, and I was already told that I was cut by now. But that year, I was trying out for the varsity because I was in 11th grade, and I did great. My thing,
Uh huh.
Mike, is offensive rebounding. So, so that was kind of why I got to stick around a little more than a week that time, is because they did this drill where you got the rebound, and if you got your own
Uh
rebound,
huh.
you got to score. But not only that, like it kept going.
Uh
It
huh.
was to teach people how to box out. So it kept going. If you made a basket, you got to keep making the basket. So at that Stonehill camp, I won a trophy for the mic and drill. It's my favorite drill, right? And so this drill turned into me doing the mic and drill, Con Man. And it's like you can't help but like notice this and be like, maybe I shouldn't cut this guy this year, right? Maybe we should hang on to him, which they did up until that. So I thought I was going to play JV, and okay, it's better off I'm playing JV because I haven't been on a team yet, and I'll get more minutes and whatnot. And but then they said, well, the couple guys are coming down. I didn't. It was a Friday. I got caught the Monday, and in my wildest dreams, I didn't think like that I was going to be one of those 2 guys that got caught. We had whatever
Mm-hmm.
15 guys, 2 are coming down, whatever. I didn't even think about it, but then I did. But he told us at the beginning of the practice. So me and the other guy that didn't make it told us at the beginning of the practice, hey, you guys, sorry, thanks anyway. The reason I know they got the uniforms is because he gave us the option of you can go home if you want now, whatever. You can hang around, or you don't have to. Don't feel like you have to stay in practice.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
stayed. Me being me, I stayed in practice. Not only did I stay in practice, I had my best practice like ever. I just like dominated that practice. I was like, I didn't expect them to change their mind. I was just like, trying to prove it. And that's kind of what I've always done is try to prove it. But at this point in the story, right, I've been cut 5 times now. You can't make this stuff up.
No, no, you can't. Now, what was the growth spurt? You said you grew
Yeah,
from
no.
about
So
after
I was
10th
like a
grade.
late
What
bloomer,
was
right?
the
So
growth spurt?
I want to say I grew like 4 inches one summer. It was going into junior year. So that junior year, I really probably should have made the team. Maybe I couldn't get out of my own way. The guy was a football coach, and so he had a lot of like playbooks and stuff. And I wasn't making the team, so I wasn't like learning the plays. And so
Right.
like
Right.
I
Right.
but I was very transparent about that. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this stuff. And I figured like, well, they'll teach it to me when the year goes on and stuff. But there's I don't know. That's not what happened. So, but so the same guy comes up to me. I would go to the football games. Now I'm a senior and I'm at this football game. The guy that graduated, he used to come to my birthday parties. He was an awesome athlete, Lamont, Ontario. And I used to love watching him play. He would run. He just ran for a touchdown like every time. It was great. So I'm just a fan in the stands, right? And the varsity coach comes up to me and he's like, you gonna try out this year? Because I was playing in these like get ready for the tryout things with the guy that was like the captain of the team. We'd play like, a
Hmm.
Catholic school or something to kind of prep for the season. And I was doing really well in those because now I'm tall and I never stopped practicing. And so he heard about me through like, his best player or whatever. And so he's kind of trying to encourage me to try out. I'm like, he's like, but he asked me, like, he's like, are you trying out this year? I'm like, I don't know. I knew I was trying out. I'm gonna try out. I'm gonna keep
Right, right.
trying out. It's like Lucy with the football, right? Charlie Brown trying to kick the football. I'm gonna try out no matter what. But I'm just to get a reaction. I'm just kind of like, I don't know why. He's like thinking about. He starts like talking fast. He's thinking about, well, there's less guys this year, and I think you might have a chance and stuff. So that is what happened. It was kind of like attrition, and guys were caught. There was only three guys my high school senior year that were seniors, including myself, in high school. And one was a really good player. I think he scored 1,000 points, and but they didn't even have, like I said, that first year there was 30 guys trying out for 15 spots. There was always like 15 spots, and now we're down to like 14 guys at practice. I haven't been told I've made the team, but I thought same thing as the year before. I thought I was on the team. So,
Hmm.
but then he pulls me in his office. He's like, "Look, I don't know what else you got going on in your life right now, but you're not going to play like ever. Like you can. I don't need to cut you. I have enough uniforms, but you're just not going to play." And I had gotten so much better. I didn't wear glasses, and then I started wearing the glasses. I think that maybe helped. I had like the strap on the back, but senior year I got the contacts. I feel like the contact lenses have really been a big breakthrough for me with basketball. And so, but like I won the championship. My team, it's a team sport, of course, and we won the championship in rec. But you could only play rec if you're not on the varsity team. But he straight
Right.
up said, like, I wasn't going to play. So I kind of wanted to just see through and play rec again. And my parents are like, are you crazy? He told, you've tried out every single year. You haven't got caught. You've gotten caught every time. And now they're telling you can be on the team and you're considering not playing so you can play rec. You've already played rec. So they kind of encouraged me to like, yeah, all right. And so I'll do the layup lines and stuff like that. And I'll practice. I get to go to practice. So now, and I love basketball. So I get to practice basketball every day. And the rec didn't start till January or something anyway. So let's do it. So I'm on the team and we blew a couple teams out the first couple games. And so I got like a minute in the first game and then I got like 30 seconds in the next game. So I'm already like playing, I guess, a little bit. And but then I think
Right.
I think I went through like 7 or 8 consecutive like DMP coaches decisions. And one game we were playing at Stoughton, same place where I saw that football game where coach told me to try out. And a bunch of guys fouled out or something, so I got to go to the game. My mom used to always go to the games. Shout out Mama Lodge. She would go. I didn't play. She went with the Tigers, with '08 Tigers, and she went with the sweatshirt with the tiger on it, and and she was always there. And so she was in Stoughton when I got to actually go in the game. And there's 16 seconds left or something in the game. I scored a basket. It was like instant offense or something. It was like foreshadowing, right? Because so but we weren't doing that good. And now January comes around and I'm missing. Now there's opportunity cost here. I'm missing out on rec, right? So now I'm kind of getting back into this
Right, right.
my mission mode of like that time that I told you I got cut. I'm already cut. Why am I playing so hard? But now I'm the same thing. It's like now I'm missing out on the rec. And so I kind of started treating every practice like it was like, the rec championship game or something. I think it started to show. In the meantime, the team's kind of scuffling a little bit. And so it's halftime of the game we're playing. We were D2, and then the team we were playing was like D3, and we usually beat them. They were actually the team that we beat by 20 or something that got in the game at the beginning of the season. And he at halftime he's mad, and you know what? Charlie Lodge is gonna play. And he's like, all right. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna play. This is great. I'll go in the game. And sure enough, he ended up putting me. I started losing hope a little because the time's ticking away. 10, 11 minutes left in the game or something like that. And so he throws me in there, and I like rusted. I haven't been playing. I just kind of I'm like a bat out of hell, right? I just run right in there, and it was like a scene from the movie. Like I just kept getting rebounds. I got every rebound, Mike, and I was getting like scoring and getting in ones and stuff, like possessed, like a caged animal set free. And you know, it wasn't much time left in the game, and we were down 30 or something. But like, we ended up losing by like in the teens or something. I mean, we might have cut it to 10, and it was like I had to line every other minute, shooting a free throw and scoring baskets, and it was like it was pretty cool, you know. And so we still lost, but it was kind of like a moral victory. And my
Mhm.
aunt who passed away, like I said, no one went to the games. My mother went to the games. I didn't even invite people to the games, but she was a hairdresser. She died of colon cancer. It's a
Sorry to hear
worthy
that.
cause if anyone wants to donate to colon cancer um, research. But so I was telling her I was getting my hair cut, and I was like, I kind of had an inkling maybe I'll actually play some real minutes in this next game because you know of what happened the game before. So I had her come. It was like a Saturday night. We were playing King Philip. Gym was packed, right? We didn't usually play on Saturday nights. And so she went, a bunch of people went, and they wrote the starting guys' names on the whiteboard, right? It was say the starting five. I still remember vividly to this day walking in the coach's room, Lodge said my last name on the whiteboard. I was starting. It was like,
Wow.
wow. Now I'm starting. I was like 2 seconds ago, I'm getting cut for the fifth time. I didn't know the plays, and it's just like because I got some rebounds. Now I'm starting. So this is my day, right? So, and same kind of thing. I rose to the occasion. I got a ton of rebounds. I had like a double double. He left me in the whole first half. Same thing, almost like a movie scene. The crowd starts chanting. I still got this at my mother's house somewhere. I gotta find it. Hopefully, you can refurbish it. A VHS tape. The crowd started chanting, Charlie, 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 like booming, like kicking the bleachers and chanting. It was amazing. And we won the game, and he let me start. There was like 10 games left in the season. But I started the rest of my career. I had, 84 points in high school. One game, the next game at Foxborough, I scored like 20 points. You know, uh, I eat pizza
Okay.
before the games. Papagino's pizza. It's like Popeye with spinach.
Right
I'm
before the
dead serious.
game.
Like Wade Boggs used
Before
to
the
eat
game.
fried chicken, I eat Papagino's pizza
Right.
because it's always worked out for me. That game before
It's
Canton,
got to be
where I went
Papagino's,
in.
though?
What?
Does it got to be
What'd you say?
Papagino's?
Yeah, Papagino's, man.
Does it have to be Papa? It's got to be
Yeah, I
Papagino's.
got more.
Okay.
I got
I,
more reasons why. There's more to this. This is a long story. That's why I don't have like my whole posse like Marcus Haltman did. It's too long of a story. People was probably sleeping, but you pumped me up. You said I was entertained. You're a good host, man. This is like I watch back
thank
episodes
you.
and stuff. You're the man. No, but yeah, puppetry is cool because I took extra science lab in senior year in high school. I kind of did the same thing with high school. Look, we had 3 grades of high school in the high school. They have a beautiful high school now, and it's 4 grades. But so like ninth grade almost didn't feel like high school. So my grades weren't wonderful. They were okay, but like you know. who knows? Like I had a guidance counselor tell me like he might not even get into college, and so like that same thing. That's like the kind of thing I need. Like tell my mother I can't read and all this stuff. Like that made me
Oh,
want to like do it. And so then I started just like getting A's. I just started getting A's, and I took to the point where like other guys had got like the senioritis. Guys and gals have senioritis, and I'm taking like a science lab for physics and chem 2, and so offsetting labs and stuff. So like, I was in like a Chem 2 honors class with honors students, but I was like a college student, and so anyway, it was a hard class, but like I just loved chemistry, and so I took it. But I missed lunch that day, the day before the game, where he got mad at halftime, and so before the game, I ate the Papagino's pizza. They sold the slices for like dollar 25 or something. I think it was back then. And so same thing with this game against Foxborough. The second game, I didn't do it before the game where they chanted my name, but the second game before Foxborough, ate like 3 slices of pizza again. I'm kind of like a creature of habit. This turned into like my routine. so I had the great game where like I feel like I got elbowed in the face in the first play of the game too. Like it was like a foul on me. It's like my face got in the way of this guy. You know. But I scored 20 points, 19. I think it was 19, and I ate my Papagino's pizza. So now before a big game, I'll eat the Papagino's pizza. And men's leagues now, sometimes I'll eat Papagino's pizza. But let you ask some questions. It's a long story, man. I'll be talking up a storm if you don't interrupt me ever.
all right. Okay. After you had a interesting high school career, you said you didn't know if you were going to be able to go to college. What transpired between your high school senior year and maybe your freshman year in college?
Yeah, I started though I did pretty bad in I had like a 2.0 GPA or something. So I did pretty bad like my sophomore year too. I think I just wasn't taking it seriously, and like cuz I'm kind of
Right.
I'm okay. I'm not like dumb, but I really started applying myself like I do with basketball, and I just started getting A.
Hmm.
I didn't get an A in French. I actually got a B in chorus. I was in the chorus. But yeah, so it ended up that I finished high school with like a 3.0 GPA because I just got so many A's the last 2 years. So I
Okay.
got in with flying colors, like I did good enough on the SAT, and I got in, but it was like looking bleak or something, like sophomore year. The guidance counselors like saying maybe think about Massasoit or something, and I really wanted to be like an accountant or something, so that's why I chose UMass Dartmouth. And I didn't get obviously recruit. I was kind of Johnny come lately on high school basketball, heroics. So it wasn't like anyone recruited me to go play for them. So I picked my college based on the fact that I wanted to be like an accountant. I thought I was going to be like an accountant or something. So UMass Dartmouth has like an accredited business school, and that's what I started out thinking I was going to do with my education there. So I got
So,
cut
what made you
there
decide?
too. No, no, go on. Please ask the question.
No, I was going to say, what made you decide to even go out and try out for UMass Dartmouth
Well, it's funny when he was asking me, the high school
since
coach,
you
the
weren't
varsity
recruited?
coach. Yeah, when he was asking me why do you even want to be on the team? Can't you do something better with your time, like be on the drama club or something? I was like, well, I want to be on the team because I want to, practice basketball every day. I love basketball, and I call me crazy, but I think I can play in college. So he asked me like, where do
Okay.
you want to go to college? And the best school, or I don't know. I just looked up to like my godfather. He passed away too, but he was a CPA. I think that's why I thought I might want to be an accountant, but. Um, he went to Bentley. So that's what I told the coach. I said, um, I think I want to go to Bentley. But that was before I actually applied. I actually didn't even apply to Bentley. But, um, so I went. That's why I chose UMass Dartmouth was for the business, and I tried out for the team, and I thought hey, maybe I can make the team. But they were just so good when I first got there. That was 2001. I'm an older guy for basketball years. I'm ancient.
Can you name some of the players that were on that team?
Yeah, it was like Brian Cagle, Timmy Gaspar, Yeah, they
Oh,
were
okay.
great. They were a really good team.
Yes.
So, so like it was going to be hard to make it even if I was, but I was still improving. I was like, you know, so I got caught. They gave it a week of tryout. Bab gave me a week of tryout, and I got caught, and then went out the next year, and he cut me after a day. So this is now the seventh time that I've gotten cut from a basketball team. Any sane human
Uh-huh.
being is probably just gonna wrap it up here and call it a career. But no, that was the first time that I talked to the coach afterwards, and I talked to Brian, and he is just the best coach, as you know. His 700 wins speak for
Of
itself and
course.
everything. But I was frustrated at that point. I'm like, I feel like I didn't get a look here this time. I mean, you cut me after a day. What am I supposed to do? Like, should I even bother coming out next year? And kind of put it back on him. And he's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to try out again, I would encourage you to do so. And I'm like, so like, how am I gonna get better? Like, he told me play intramural. You can play intramurals. I'm like, okay. I don't know if I can get better playing intramurals. I mean, but no, intramurals was actually really good at UMass Dartmouth, and I just kept working on. You know who I have to give a huge shout out to is Don West. This guy was the strength coach at UMass Dartmouth, man. He got me to start being healthy, right? Like taught me like about the antioxidants of green tea and we ladder drills,
Hmm.
like because I wasn't quick on like, so I worked. You can work on your quickness. There was these dot drills and ladder drills, and then he had a basketball workout that was specific toward basketball. I was like a gym rat, Mike. I was like just always there, and I would just anyone that wanted to play me one on one or that I could get to play me one on one, I would challenge, and I was like, so I was like beating guys that were on that team in one on one, you know like that really good team. And then I'd be in one, I don't know how hard
Right.
they were trying. Like Brian Cagle's probably letting me win, right? Like Sean Walsh is like 6'9". But what Sean Walsh told me was I had just beaten him, and he was like, if you do Don West work, because I was skin and bones, I was skinny. That was part of the problem. Like I was trying out growing up. I was trying out against like the guy was a football coach too, so I feel like all the guys I was up against were all like kind of husky football guys that are like kind of pushing me around and stuff. And I'm getting pushed around because I'm so skinny, and so
Hmm.
Sean told me, look, if you do Don West's workout I think you're gonna make the team. I think you can make the team. So that's what I did. And then I did. I walked on. It's so hard to walk on too, right? Because it's like
It is.
six guys graduate, six guys get recruited. I need you to start talking some. I'm overshadowing
No,
you
this
with my
I'm giving you
blabbering.
your flowers. But one thing I will say that, like you said, you weren't recruited, and most coaches, when they recruit players, their eyes are on them, and you just being a walk on. But I think Coach Bat, saw that you were your dedication and you really wanted it, and I think that's why he gave you another opportunity. And like you said, you ended up making it. That's kind of why I wanted you on the show as well, because what you have instilled in me is from what I'm viewing you is that your dedication. You never have that never give up attitude, and I think that's probably helped you out during the course of your life. But getting back to once you made the team, how was it then? Was you getting playing time? How was that? Same process as it was in high school?
Yeah, so you had him on the show, and it was I watched that, and that was great. And this was
You
part of
did?
why, like, yeah, I watched it. You're the man, dude. This guy had Sam Jones on his show. Everybody, I watched that one too. I went back and watched like 5 or 6 back
Oh
episodes
man!
of it.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff, man. This is a good show.
wow! Thank you,
So, dude, Sam Jones, that
thank you.
was wonderful. You've done some great work over the years. I went down the rabbit hole with you, Mike, man. When you had Bap on the show, it was like kind of enlightening because it was like from 2 years ago or 3 years, or whenever you interviewed him. But it like took me back, right? Because he talks about like, my starters are the best players, and the backups, the starters can make mistakes. The backups can't make a mistake. That's how he was. That's how he was. So he would like if I fouled someone that was shooting a three right out the game. Like even if it was like 8 seconds into me checking in, I'm out of the game. And it was actually
Mm-hmm.
really brilliant because you're teaching because he didn't like he didn't say like, oh, only 6 guys are playing either. Like he doesn't do this like Tom Thibodeau thing where you're running
Right,
everybody into the ground with minutes. You he out of necessity would if his best player is playing great and his backup to the best player goes in and makes a mistake, then you might have 38 and 2, right? But he had his rotation of like 10, where it's almost like one backup for each person. And
right.
so that's what I always was for the center. And of course, with my luck, right, the center is always like an all-American. One guy, the first guy, Chris Lappriori, shout out Chris Lapp. He was an All American. He was an amazing player, beast, right? He would get his 20 and 10, and so I was backing him up. And then
Mm-hmm.
that was the first couple years, and then the last year, my senior year, because I went fifth year. I got the business minor, and I went a fifth year as a full time student, so I could play a third year of basketball. That was the excuse, though, the business minor, you know. Uh, and so the guy that he got to transfer from Westfield State is in the Little East Hall of Fame. Shout out Dan Holbrook. He
Oh, I know
excellent
him. I
player.
know him.
Dan Holbrook. So I was the backup to Dan Holbrook, but like I went to his induction to the UMass Dartmouth Hall of Fame. I was the one that went to that, and like I guess so I talked to him and stuff, and we would go at it, man. It was like wars in practice, both lap and because I just played so hard. Last Friday,
Right.
my wife, my kid, my whole family went to this men's league game at the BYL in Dana Barros, right? Shout out so and I played against like kids that are like half my age, right? Like you know, probably in college players, and I just try so hard. I just go so hard all the time. So I play in the ABA now, right? And one of my teammates on the ABA team, shout out Andy Grow, he goes, my wife Sharon, ask her what she thought of the game. I'm like, what did you think of the game? She's like, you're gonna die like on the court. You like that's just like what's going to happen, because you just play so hard, you're just gonna have a heart attack or something. Well, and I was overweight. I was overweight for a while in my later years, and I've recently in the last year I've lost a lot of weight, but I'm getting so off topic and just kind of rambling. But no, so what I was going with this was when I was backing up Danny Holbrook, the senior year, my official final senior year, uh, I would get like 18 minutes, like some of those games, like if like I was playing well, and again, he would yank me if it was, but like I was like the sixth man because I still have some of the box scores and stuff. Like we had this epic shootout against Bridgewater State where we won. It was like 102 to 99. No one played any defense, I guess, right? But like me and Dan both. You should see the stat sheet on this game. Like me and Dan both had like our double double, each playing like exactly half of the game, basically. So yeah, but no. So to answer your question about well, did it like you play it like I had this great moment where I got to start a game and I just went in there and it was kind of similar, but then he just went kind of back to the starting lineup, after that. But we won against Rick. It was just this epic game. So he had us play the starters. Like I said, these practices got pretty competitive. I'm so competitive. The starter is a great player and is competitive, and four other guys. Obviously, it's not like a one-on-one game. But remember that movie Miracle with the
Yes.
uh, USA hockey team? So that came
Yes.
out. He's like, we're kind of just like 500 at this point, Mike. And we lost. The same thing as like losing to Canton was like the coach kind of. So it doesn't sit well when you lose to a team that you beat every year or you do very well against. So I think I want to say we lost to Southern Maine at Southern Maine or something, and we were going to play Rick next, and they were in first place. And Bap was like, whoever wins in practice today is going to get to start the next game against
Hmm.
Rick. And this is like part 3 of this, like, go to the next mode, right? Stay in practice even though you're not on the team. So I was like even more charged up for this one. And me and my yellow team, so blue reversibles, right? UMass Dartmouth, blue and yellow. Me and my yellow team, we end up winning. Lap got kicked out of practice because I'm playing so hard it frustrated him. He gets kicked out of practice, and we go on and win. And the BAP kept his promise, and he started us. And what was beautiful about it is the Rick coach. He didn't know anything about me.
Right.
Like there's, how they do like a scouting report. That I wasn't playing
Of
much.
course. Mm-hmm.
This is like the breakthrough game, kind of like the Charlie high school one, right? Where I'm like, I'm starting now, you know? So uh same thing. And I started and I ended up with 24 points and 16 rebounds. Same thing. It's like a mirror
Ooh.
image. I'm like, it's like history repeated. I play the whole first half. He don't take me out. And and then the second half, me and Lap are actually on the court at the same time, which that was the only time that ever happened because he's the guy center. You know how organized he is, right? So
Oh, yes.
yeah, yeah. So back to so it didn't turn into like just me starting the rest of the way like in high school, but I like I said, I carved out that niche as like the 6th man, and we went on to win that game. We beat the first place team at Rick. I still remember at the playing the Modest Mouse song "Float On" afterwards because it's at Rick, and they're like trying to cheer themselves up after we beat them. Like some guy we've never heard of just got 11 offensive rebounds in the first half.
Wow. 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 That must have been an exciting game. So you ended your season. What happened then?
Which season, Conn Man?
Your last season at UMass Dartmouth.
Oh yeah, so senior season, yeah, and we, you know, finished with the winning record. I was actually the only senior on the team that year, and so I went back and I watched I kind of followed the team. I hung around the area because I ended up trying out for a ABA team, and
That's
it
what we're gonna
wasn't
get
even
into. But go ahead.
yeah, it wasn't even something I was thinking about at all. And my grandfather who passed away that I'm named after, uh, it was Father's Day, and what do you get the guy that had everything? So we had kind of like a yard cleanup at his house, and my aunt. I was wearing my UMass Dartmouth, tank top T-shirt thing. We're picking up sticks, and she's like, "What are you gonna? You're not gonna play basketball anymore?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's over. you know, but it's got me thinking. It got the kind of ticking, like, eh. I'm like, maybe I should start looking into. So I looked into, and then I ended up finding out about the frenzy. You got to tell some
Ah.
frenzy stories. You tell some frenzy stories because they were practicing at UMass Dartmouth when I was playing for UMass Dartmouth. It was called the Boston Frenzy, and you're being shy right now, probably because I won't stop talking. But you were with them, right?
That is correct. Yes, I had the opportunity. The owner at that time had knew me previously, and he asked me to become the color commentator for the Boston Frenzy, and it was a great experience. I ended up being with a guy by the name of Pat Riley, not the one from Miami Heat, but the guy named Pat Riley who did the play-by-play, and it was a God honor. And folks, those of you who may remember, they had a team, or I think, and back then was the M1 that was on TV where they had the helicopter and they had Spider. They came on to the Boston Frenzy, and we had a coach. I think you guys may be familiar with. His name was Jumping Jelly Bean Giant, which happened to be Kobe Bryant's dad, Joe Bryant. So it was an honor to be around him and the players. We have Moses Malone's son. We have Marcus Heltman from the New Bedford area, Marcus Wills from the New Bedford area, and an unbelievable talent, a guy by the name of Troy Brown, who played at Providence College. He also played with the Frenzy. and it was a great experience seeing all these great players, and it was a great experience. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you and your experience with the Boston Frenzy.
Yeah, well, that's some common ground, right? So, well, I wasn't the Boston Frenzy, right? So they
Right.
ended up moving to the Cape, and I found out about the tryout, and I was in good shape because I'm right out of college, and I decided, you know me and tryouts, I can't get enough, right? Like Lucy with the football, it's not gonna bother me none if I get cut from this ABA team, right? And like I'm all about the trying. So here I am, at the Reggie Lewis Center in a tryout for the team. And this is back in the VHS tape, same thing like Mumalage. We got the VHS tape of the Charlie.
Right.
I went and met up with Coach Baff, and I'm like, hey, you got that tape of he's he's like he's all serious, stone faced, the late Lenny's
Uh
up there
huh.
too, and then they come to the agreement.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lenny.
that's Lenny was the best, man. Rest in peace. You know what? He saw something in me. He was probably in Babs here saying, "Look, this guy's always in the gym. Like, just let him be on the team." So who knows? I don't know for sure, but maybe. So, they gave out they gave me the tape. He's like, that's by far your best game, So they gave me the tape of the 26 and 16, the win against. So I gave that to them, but I don't even know if they watch those things. But same thing, offensive rebound, like possessed, same just show out. They don't even like tell you if you made the team or didn't make the team in the ABA. You know how it is, right? There's no like set roster, so it's a little
Right.
fluid, you know. So
Oh, yes. Hmm.
I played in some games, not all the games. Sometimes I dressed, sometimes I didn't. But the coolest story, man, was I got to dress against the Maryland team. They had this guy named Sun Ming Ming, who was 7'9", 7 feet 9 inches
What?
tall. The tall I don't know if it still stands, but at the time he was the tallest guy to ever play professional basketball. And
Um,
we everyone finds out, right? It's like this is new back in the newspaper days. This was big time. This was in the Barnstable whatever it's called. But anyway, we but because that's where we played. We didn't have like a set place that we were always playing. Did you guys always play at UMass Dartmouth all your home games when you were with the Boston Frenzy,
yes.
or did it move around a little?
Yes, we
See, I
played nine
like
home
that.
games.
That's
Yes.
with the team I'm on now, the Sharks. All our home games were at the same place at the Dana Barrows. I like the stability of that. We bounced around. The ABA is a little bit like the Wild Wild West. There's some bouncing around. So we this might have been the only game we played at Barnstable High School. Um, I think they must have rented it or something just because they needed a lot of space because everybody found out about this from the newspaper, billboards, posters. There's no social media, but we want to see this guy. 7'9". So, and
Seven
then
foot
like
nine.
you
Wow.
had a tall guy. He was really tall because I stand next to him. I felt like he was like maybe a foot taller than me. How tall was that guy Finkelstein you all
He was
had?
7'6". He was out in North Carolina. He was
Seven
seven foot
six.
six.
Okay, I remember
Yes.
him. Was he big or was he
Hmm.
skinny?
No, he was big, very big. He wasn't
Oh, he
skinny at
was
all.
okay. He wasn't skinny. Okay, was he
Nope.
good? He was pretty good player.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh, so that's it. Well, there's always a
that
catch, right?
that's what,
Why is this guy not in the NBA, Con Man? Why, if you're 7'6", are you not in the NBA, right? So there's kind of where I'm getting at on this. The guy is 7'9". Okay, he's from China and he's on the Maryland Nighthawks or Skyhawks or whatever they were called. I want to say it was Nighthawks. Don't quote me on that. But so we're like, okay, so maybe he stinks. Maybe he's just not very good. So
right.
why else would he not be in the? Or like, and that occurred to me like maybe he's just like really skinny and I can like push this guy around or something. It's like, well, use my muscles. But no, we go in there and he's big. He's not like he
Yeah.
must be like Finkelstein or so he's like big. And
Uh
we're
huh.
like, okay, so he probably just can't play a lick. and we're watching, and he's like just swishing every shot, and it's like, well, why is he not in the NBA? He couldn't move. He couldn't really move. So like he was in the Rush Hour 3 movie. I mean, maybe I'm over dramatizing. He could move. He just like when we were shooting free throws, they would not like my hallmark is offensive rebounding.
Right.
He's 7'9". He can probably dunk without jumping. You would think he
Mhm.
would be down there, but no, because they didn't want him to have. That's another thing I'm decent at is running the floor. They didn't want him to
So I have to go right
have
there.
to run the floor, so he would start down the other end and just wait down the other end, so he wouldn't have to run back on defense. But no, it was a hoot. It was a fun time. We won the game. The place was packed.
Oh.
I got in the game because we were winning by so many points. I scored a basket right on that guy. I got pictures. I got pictures on Facebook of me
Oh
like
shit.
against this guy. Me pictures of signing autographs and stuff. And I said they wrote it up. My name got in the article. They were like, because I think every single friend I had in my entire life, I think I invited to this game. So they're like, yeah, when I scored a basket on a guy that's a foot and a half taller than me, they went insane. And so that got in the article. It was like, the ruckus applause from the bleachers when Charlie Lodge wowed him with this. It was this no look hook shot. I have these very eclectic moves that like drove
Right.
Dap crazy sometimes, like because that I'd shoot without looking at the basket because like the muscle memory or whatever. So I guess I tricked him on that one. And the 7'9" guy didn't block my shot or anything, but it looked great and everybody loved it. And that was fun. Yeah. So
How
that was
long
it.
did that go on for? Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
still
I
with the
played.
ABA?
Yeah, no. So this is yeah.
All right, good. Okay.
There's a big layoff here. A big layoff. So I played. That was the '06-'07 season. And we had so much talent on that team, like D1 players or something. They would like they would kind of tease me and stuff, like because it's like, uh, you played in the Big Sky conference and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even play D1, like that's a compliment. They think they're making fun of me, Mike. There's like you
Right,
played in
right.
the Big Sky. I wish I played in the Big Sky conference. I played for UMass Dartmouth. I had
Right.
some nice moments, but I'm not a D1 player like you all. Like we had high flyers, guys who played D1, Providence, Yukon, and that kind of thing. And loaded roster. And that was the '06-'07 season. But I found a place kind of the same sort of thing as practice player, kind of get in the game, in the opportune times. But I played a little more. I played on a team called the Manchester Mill Rats and the Boston Blizzard, but those were more fill-in stuff. So it was like kind of last minute things. Sometimes with the roster being so fluid, no one's making lots of money playing in the ABA, right?
Right,
Well,
right.
who knows? Maybe someone is. I don't know that for sure, but the whole point of being in the ABA instead of like playing overseas or playing in the NBA is to kind of be around. Some guys have other jobs and stuff like that, and so sometimes it's hard to fill a bus to get a game out in Halifax, Nova Scotia. You know.
Yes.
But that's what I did. The Boston Blizzard. I went up there like it was kind of like I hadn't gotten a real job yet, and I'm removed from college. And uh, hey, do you want to? I think the Celtics were on a run. I want to say that. So that must have been '08, and yeah, it was like Christmas, December. Yeah, because Santa was at the game. Santa Claus was a special guest at the. It was a big production. Some of these places like were taking it serious. Like they had fans, like 2,000 fans. So we go up to Halifax, Nova Scotia. It ends up only being 6 guys go up to Halifax, Nova Scotia to play against the Rain Men. They have a program and stuff. I think I might still have the program. And I got to start both games. We had like a back to back 2 games, and I
Okay.
played my heart out like always. They had box scores back then. They printed them out. They gave them to you. So I had the box score. We got beat pretty good because they were like a good team, and they had the home court advantage and everything. But I put up stats, offensive rebound because I'm playing 48 minutes, 46, or I
Right.
think between the 2 games I played like over 80 minutes. I might have fouled out of one of them. had a double doubles, offensive rebounds galore. So I thought someone might notice. Maybe someone's gonna say, "Hey, you should play for us and give me like some sort of lucrative contract or something." But like this is like a tree in the forest. So all right, time to get a job, which I did, and I have, and I grew up, and I had kids and everything, and 9 to 5, and then you know, just this past year, expansion team. There's more teams now than there were. There's over 100 teams now. There used to be less than 100 teams.
Wow. Wow.
Um, so the startup team that I'm on now is the Boston Sharks, and I just started playing last season. I caught on with them as like a player coach, and it's just funny how all these experiences kind of mirror each other. It's like history repeated kind of thing. Well, and it's like I'm not young anymore, but it's the game has changed so much, right?
Absolutely.
Like there's no one 7'9" anymore, right? Like this, he couldn't be on the court the way people play now. Like he was on the court, but he was back on defense. But like other guys, the 6'10" guys and stuff like that, they have to move, right? So it's all 3 pointers and cutting and
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
so
True.
one of the things that why I was kind of like I was undersized, right? I have like long arms. I'm good at offensive rebounding, but I'm only 6'5". So a lot of what I would do was like heart and going after offensive rebounding. That wasn't like an in vogue thing back then. It was like kind of more like do the post moves, and my post moves are kind of weird. And now people don't even really do post moves.
Right.
It's all like pace and space and stuff like that, right? But so now like I feel like what's happening now is like my game is almost timeless because like they don't know how to guard me anymore. Like the offensive rebound with all the space. I got all this space now.
Right.
There's not like
Right.
6'10"
Exactly.
guys blocking my shot everywhere, right? So I'm like finding my spots. I've like practiced the mic control for 30 years, and here we are. Now I'm playing for the Boston Sharks in the ABA.
And you sent me some highlights of you, man. You still got it. You still at 47 years old. You
Whenever they
still doing
call
the
my
damn
number,
thing.
Mike, that you gotta prove it. Competitive, it comes out. We
That
had a
is
game
incredible.
similar to the Halifax trip from '08. We had a game in January, Boston
Uh-huh.
Sharks, right? Now I'm not playing every game. One game I'm wearing khakis, I'm the coach. Some games I'm the player coach, where I'm wearing the uniform and I'm like coaching as well. And so, but on this particular occasion, similar thing where we're low on numbers. We end up we get a game scheduled with the Long Island team, New York Hoop Dragons. The whole game's on YouTube. Video quality is not wonderful, but it was in January. This team's awesome too, by the way. They were like nationally ranked. It kind of because there's so many teams now, it works like college football. Like right, you're like there's a top 25. So when we go out there, they're like ranked 8 or something, and we're like this expansion team. We got some nice players, we got some talent. We're trying to figure this out, and we win in a few games. We actually made the playoffs, but on this particular day, we got 5 guys, and one of them is me. And so we same thing. Like we got a bus, and we're driving. We're gonna drive. It was the service, right? A transportation service, and it's the 5 of us and the drivers, and the owner is also playing, and we're all suited up and ready to go, and we roll up in there with 5 guys, you know,
Mm.
and so I'm playing the whole game. I'm playing 48 minutes. So I and tell me if I'm wrong, please. Someone tell me if this is not accurate because I watched the game back and counted the rebounds. I got 37 rebounds, and 23 of them were offensive rebounds. And I've Googled like most offensive rebounds in the history of basketball, and all I'm coming up with is that Moses Malone got 21, but 23 is higher than 21. So do I hold the record for most offensive rebounds? And they count, right? When you miss your own shot and you get the rebound,
Yeah, yes,
the me bounce
yes.
count.
That definitely
That's
counts.
one of
Yes,
my
yes.
moves too, by the way, Mike. Last Friday, like the guy's 6'8", like he was coming to block my shot. I threw it over his hand, off the backboard, and ran to the other side and caught and scored real quick. I was like, how do you stop that, right? He wasn't used to that one.
That's great. That's great.
So yeah, I had 20 and 37 in an ABA game at 42 years old.
42, 42 years old, still
42.
playing.
Yeah,
That
still
is
playing.
incredible, man. So, what do you? How is your conditioning? I mean, what do you do to stay in shape?
Well, that's how I got back into it. I was completely out of shape, to be honest.
Right.
Terribly out of shape, to the point where, like, me and my family, we went to Great Wolf Lodge, and they have like a weight limit, right, on this ride. The kids love this wolf tail ride, and it's 300 pound weight limit. I, I'm dead serious. I just kind of stopped weighing myself. I was like in the 280s, but then when you
Wow.
stop weighing myself, I might have been pushing the weight limit. I think, especially you seem to like the funny stories, so I'm gonna humiliate myself and go through this one. So it's me and them are doing this water slide, and you have to walk up so many stairs, right, to get to this because it's just a really high slide that goes straight down and walking up all the stairs, and I'm like out of breath walking upstairs. I'm like battling like Achilles tendonitis, and it's like I got to do something. Well, so all week I have been the one going last, so I get to kind of pay attention to the thing, and they go down the water slide, and then I make sure they get to the bottom, and I go down. So this time around, for some reason, they're telling me I got to go. Dad, you go first. You go first. Uh, All right, so whatever. I can go first. So, but I'm like still out of breath from walking up all these stairs because I'm a big fat guy, right? So I tell the lifeguard something my mother would always say, but I was just like, she tells me all the time, like, don't get old, don't get old. So I say that to the lifeguard. He's like a high school kid. I'm like, don't get old. He's like looks at me funny, like I don't know, but so this is the guy in charge of this ride. I'm going. I got to tuck in across my legs and go down this slide. And I get down to the bottom, and usually like the next kid would come down like 30 seconds later, but no one's coming down. And so I'm like, there's another mother there, and it's like, shouldn't they have come down by now? And like, I don't know, 3, 4. It felt like forever, but I guess 3 or 4, 5 minutes later, my kids walked down the stairs that we had just climbed up. They didn't go down the slide. They're like, the slide's broken. You broke the slide. No. My daughter was certain that I did not break the slide. That the guy just hit the wrong button and was trying to cover this up or something. But the point is, I guess I shouldn't be 300 pounds, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's when I started. Like, I want to play basketball forever. I want to try to beat Father Time. No one's beaten Father Time. I want to try, right? I'm in an over 30 men's league in Easton, the same high school that I played in, that I grew up in. I've been in the league ever since I turned 30. So even when I was out of shape that whole time, I was playing in that league. And the competition, if you have to be 30, obviously isn't as good as the ABA and everything, but I take pride in I don't want to ever miss a game. I
Awesome.
idolized like Cal Ripken Jr. growing up. And so I just want to keep doing this. I think I can, especially that league. I want to just try to. I want to play like LeBron played with Bronny.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, right? But this is like my far fetched dream is someday to play with my son in the over 30 league. But I would have to be. He's 30 years younger than me, so I would have to be like 60 years old. So that's not sustainable if you're playing the way I play and you're as heavy as I was. So
Yeah.
that's when I started, and he was getting heavy too, because it's like kind of contagious, right? The eating habits and the thing.
Right.
So, and the doctor said that to him too. My son, he's a little over. Like you might want to work on that because they're just looking out for you and they want you to stay healthy. And
Right. Right.
so, anyway, he ends up. I encourage him to go out for the swim team because he's a good little swimmer. Mammy's pool, and uh, he was especially before COVID. COVID really kind of messed everything up with sports and stuff. But so he got out of the swimming because he was very promising, and so I remembered that, and I'm like, you should. We belong to the Y. You should just be on the Y swim team. Just try out for it. Us, try. His name's Charlie too. So us Charlie Lodges, we're never gonna be ashamed to get cut, right? So just
No.
try out, see what happens. you've not done swimming lessons since you were 4, but what's the worst that can happen? They tell you no, you can't be on the Y swim team. Just give it a shot. So he's like, yeah, let's do it. All right, Dad. So he tried out. He made the YMCA swim team, and they practice like 4 times a week, and they have meets and stuff, and it's really cool. But it's not as competitive. It's more like you're competing against yourself to
Right.
improve on your times and stuff. And
Hmm.
it's for like youth development, and it's wonderful. And but what happened with that was he's exercising, he's getting down on his, and I'm there for 2 hours, like all week, and I'm I did pick the ball back up, and I started just practicing again. You know, I just started doing the mic drills and the free throws and playing pickup basketball with guys that are half my age, right? And I started losing weight. I started doing better with my eating habits and like drinking water and the whole 9 yards. And so we're both kind of losing weight at the same time, and I just been steadily getting into shape. It wasn't overnight. It was just continuing while this was happening. Like that was kind of like the carrot for me was this ABA expansion team, and the possibility of like maybe I can be a player too and not just a coach. You know.
You know, some Charlie, man, this hour went by so fast. I got to get you to come back on my show another time because you were entertaining. And what I like to do, Charlie, is like have my guests make an impact. What would you say to maybe we might have some youth, boys or girls, or high school kids? What advice would you give to them as far as, you know, trying out for their high school team, or what advice would you give to them? And number one, number two, if anyone who I'm sure is going to watch this, they're going to want to get in touch with you. How would they be able to get in touch with you?
So yeah, my advice would be never give up, right? Persistence is key. Nothing good comes easy, right? Failure drives success. You don't, like I said earlier, everything being handed to you, that's not the way. Failure is what leads to success. Don't get down on yourself on your failures, right? Keep at it. If it's something you want to do, if you put your mind to it, I truly believe that you can do anything you set your mind to if you put your mind to it. So that would be my advice. You know, to get in touch with me, it would be my I am on Facebook. We're Facebook friends now, Mike. Thanks for accepting my friend request. And I'm on Instagram, Charlie Bob 10 on Instagram. So I post my clips and stuff like that. I'm really having fun with this midlife crisis basketball comeback. It's been a blast. I'm still working at it, and I'm still getting better to this day. So that's the other advice I'd give. Just listen. Be a listener. Don't think you know everything. I got away when I was younger. I got away with my athleticism. you know. And if I was now, I don't have it as much, right? Because I'm 42, right? So I have the effort, and now I have to make up for the less athleticism. I'm not a freak athlete anymore. I haven't been lifting weights, and stuff. I didn't do the Don West workout, right? So you need to, as a kid, you need to listen to the coach. They're not trying to insult you. They're trying to teach you. They're trying to make you better. Like not SGA was the best player this year, right? Even he can learn. Everyone can learn. NBA players say similar things. Damian Lillard, I heard him say that. I wish I listened more.
I think that was very sound advice. And again, I want to thank you for coming on my show.
Thanks
It's
for
been a
having me.
blast. You got to
It
come
flew.
back
You're
on
right. It
again.
flew, man. I didn't know we only had an hour. You had to tell me these things, man. I
It's
have more
okay.
stories. Hopefully they weren't
My
bored.
producer's
You
the
hyped me
best.
up so much. You were entertained. You should be hyping yourself. You're the one that we got to hype. I should have let you talk more. But no, this has been great, man. You're the best.
It
Thanks for
is.
having me.
Charlie, thank you so very much. I will get back in touch with you to come on again. We got so much more to talk about. Again, I want to thank you for coming on my show. It's been a blast. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and God bless you.
Likewise. Take care.
All right, folks, that was my guy, Charlie. Charlie Lodge. He's a great dude. And again, I remember because I do have a case of dementia sometimes, so I was able to spot him out at the UMass basketball camp, and I went up to him and approached him, and I just wanted him on my show, and he did not let me down at all. So, folks, again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to my show, Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Wave Network. Y'all tune in for my show next week, as I have a very special guest as well. She goes by the name of JoJo Gomes. And then we're going to also have Darian Fernandez, a former player from the University of Jacksonville. And, we're going to be doing the damn thing like we always do. Take care. God bless. See y'all next week. Thank you.